You know?
You want to get real pissed off? Have you ever looked at like how you would actually use metric time?
No.
Metric time is this thing where, metric for everything else makes perfect sense, right? Why not metric time? The problem is that time is so like globally standardized, and metric time is so different in every single human being's personal perception of time that is just like violence on your brain when you try and actually think of it in that time period. Like, oh, I'll be a hectosecond. That's 1.67 minutes.
Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah, no.
I'll
Yeah.
be a kilosecond.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
16
yeah, yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Yeah. We're
it
ruined.
also has no appropriate measurement for hours at all, because it goes from kilo to mega, and kilo is 16 and a half minutes, and then megasecond is 11 and a half days.
There are 10 metric hours in a day. There are 100 metric minutes in a metric hour. There are
Shut up.
100 metric seconds in a metric minute. And 10 days in a metric week.
It can't be undone for a couple reasons. One, the average 1 second is kind of internalized by like almost every human being over the age of like 10,
Yeah,
right?
no, yeah, I'd say so.
And
Like
the
your
second
heartbeat.
is like almost all classical clock technology works on the vibration speed of quartz, which
Yeah,
is why it's 60.
no, I was gonna, yeah, your heartbeat is not once per second, but like you
It better not be.
but you can feel a second inside of you
Yeah.
because we were raised that way. So, um, anyway,
Hey,
all
heads up to anybody out there who's a parent to a young child. Teach your kid to tell time using various types of clocks. Even in today's world, it's cringe when people look at a real clock and go, I don't know what that is. How do I do it? Real clocks are not going away anytime soon.
I saw this video of this girl that was doing these crazy advanced maths, doing these crazy multiplications and like just basically doing the mental abacus with her fingers, and it
Well,
was
that shit's
like
cool.
it's so cool. It's crazy. Like your hand is like counting the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're doing it like just and the hand gesture floating through the air gives you information. It's so cool. It was incredible. Uh,
Hey, let me ask you a question. I saw this as a goof the other day, and it really hurt me. Which would be more embarrassing to you to have a random person see? Your browser history or your calculator history?
oh, don't look. I don't look at the most basic subtractions.
Like 17 plus 51? Really? Did I really need a calculator for that?
oh. Damn, dude. Yo, where's calculator incognito mode?
Ugh.
Don't worry. No one will know what you've just added and subtracted. No one will know that you forgot your brackets first.
I still remember my times tables. Most of them, anyway.
That's cool.
I remember my dad like sitting me down and be like, "You learning these times tables," and then he would quiz me afterwards. I'm like, "This shit's stupid. I don't need to know this." Oh wow, yeah, I needed to know that for real.
Mm, mm.
Having your basic times tables up to like 10 is
Yeah.
like the most absolutely vital fucking math skill I ever learned in my entire life.
It keeps coming back. It keeps coming back for sure. Um anyway, and if you don't have them, then you accidentally schedule your game to release on the wrong date.
That's right.
So don't do it, folks. Anyways, so yeah, I want to check out Sifu as soon as the chance comes around. But that's more or less going to be it, over on the channel. So yeah, if you want to see more of that, um, Bloodborne, PSX, Everhood, not Active Killing. That will not be on WoolieVersus. That despite being grouped together there. No, you can watch that on your own time and do so. It's on YouTube. It's really good. But yeah, come check us out on the channel this week and on Twitch. Also, we are going to be we're playing a bunch of Strive. We're getting in there, having fun. It's really hilarious to see for the first time Baiken is not just loved, but she's being used and played by people, by a lot of people.
No, get out of town.
And
I don't believe you.
It's crazy, right? But here's what happened. So everyone was excited for the DLC, and the DLC dropped, and all three of them are these freak picks that require you to be really into the gimmick or able to get over the mechanical bullshit to play the character, right? Gold Lewis, Jacko, and fucking Gunman are all like wild gimmick characters, and Baiken's the first one that's like, there's a gimmick, but she's pretty straightforward beyond that. And everyone's like, oh yes, okay, thank God, because it's too much work. You need too high an IQ to learn how to do Jacko's setups or the Gunman shit Happy Chaos wants you to do.
Or this Behemoth Typhoon.
Or that Behemoth Typhoon, So everyone just went like, I can't deal with these freak picks. I can't deal. Give me a normal. Okay, Baiken will have to do.
I'm sorry. I just had like a moment where I looked over at our live chat and was struck with the form of mathematical violence that I don't know how to deal with. And I need to hit you with it as well, Woolie.
Mathematical violence.
In the chat, someone asked, "What's 8 times 7?" as a goof, because ask the kids what their times tables are, and people were correctly getting it as 56. However, one person said it's 56 because 70 minus 14 is 56, and I can't figure out how those numbers happen.
I can't do that.
Where did 70 come from?
I can't do that. I have to go 64 minus 8. You go times table, you go 8 times 8, and then you subtract 8 from that. The fuck else happened? I don't know.
Are you 10 times 7 minus 2 times 7? Where the fuck is the 10 coming from? Just do 8.
Are you an abacus user? Is this the power? Oh, God. What was that Twitter thing? There was a Twitter...
You use the multiple of 10 then work from there? Why?
There was a Twitter equation that was fucking people up. Because it was...
yeah, because nobody knows how to do PEMDAS or BEDMAS.
Yeah. So it was just a whole lot of really, like, silly... dumb things where you're like, okay, you forgot what goes first here, but
it's the brackets or parentheses.
But
first.
the replies to that,
exponents.
The replies to that were hilarious because there was like 1 or 2 people that got the right answer by doing some crazy shit, and they're like, oh yeah, it's real simple, and then they just did the long way, and showed the work, and you're like, oh my God, you're insane, but that is correct. I
don't know. I have such a fucked up relationship with math. Like, my early success really paved the way for my dramatic failures.
Sure.
Because
too confident.
All the way up to grade 8. Show your work. No. Yep. Here's the answer on a completely blank, like, the quadratic formula or whatever. I just do it all in my head and just slap it down. Do your work. No, it's the answer 17. Well, that doesn't matter. Doesn't it? Isn't that the right answer? I'd argue with my teachers all the time. Then I hit grade 10. Yeah. And hit, like, trig. And that show was over. That free ride on brain power was done.
It's like you're not being graded on the answer. You're being graded on how you did it. Idiot.
Which is the grandest lie any teacher ever told anyone. In the public school system, you're being graded on whether you know the material. Really? because
life.
I read my whole history book last night and aced this exam and am now rapidly forgetting everything that I read in that book.
Yeah, it's regurgitation. But life doesn't care about anything but the answer you choose. But if you're trying to teach the concept correctly, you want to grade that out. Like, you don't want your driving test to be get in the car, come back in half an hour with a sandwich, and if you have no tickets,
No
you succeed.
cyclist inside your windshield.
Then you pass, right? It's like we got to get in the car and watch you do the damn thing. So, um, yeah, if I had learned that unbelievable method of, I think it's like you make a dot if you're doing multiplication. You make a dot for the first number for every one of the first number, and then you make a grid going across for the second, and then you kind of create this star system. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that? Someone was
I
doing
have
that
not
on
seen
Reddit.
that.
There was like a video of like the way that they do multiplication in, I guess, somewhere else, and it was like almost like creating an x and a y axis, except it was each pip for one number that you're trying to multiply, and then each pip going along the y-axis for the other, and then you literally draw one line to the other, and then you keep connecting them until you exhaust that, and you draw out a shape. And then once you finish drawing out the shape by connecting the dots, you count the edges of it, and those are your answer.
Yeah, I kind of glazed over as you were explaining that. I couldn't understand it.
It's okay, but it uses the digits to like create a visual shape on paper that then gives you your answer. You know?
You know, I'm just thinking about this as we're talking different ways of multiplying and adding and all this. And like, I think the maddest I ever was in my entire school existence ever was in math class, and it was in grade 7 or 8, and it's where we started to learn like algebra formulas, and I was banging out the my questions and answers, and the questions were correct. Sorry, the answers were correct,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I was getting like lower marks because I was not using the the formulas or the tools that I had just been taught. And she would like look at my work and like, why'd you do it like that? I'm like, because you get the right answer if you do it like that. And I was using my own like math idea that I just thought up looking at the numbers on how to get it. You're like, well, that's not the way we're learning in here. I'm like, but I got it right. Who cares?
Right.
It's right, isn't it? Well, that's not important. What's important is that you learn the method. I'm like, I'm showing you my work, and my work is, oh God, I'm so mad now.
Uh, so
I could have been really smart, maybe.
maybe almost, and it's everyone else's fault, not yours.
Oh no. Most of it is definitely mine.
Oh well, shit, damn.
But they could have helped, I guess. Oh,
So
so mad.
the thing that I'm talking about, I believe, is called the lattice method, and you create essentially like like a lattice or like an array with the numbers going along both sides. Here, I found a picture of it, and if you just type lattice method into Google, you should see a bunch of examples of it, and you just do some wild shit, and before you know it, you're adding everything together. So 32 times 7 is this example that I'm looking at here, and you create one box for the 3, one box for the 2, and then along the sides you go down one box because it's 7, you know, and then you draw diagonal lines, and then uh you add up what's in the boxes, and then you get 2, 2, and 4, and that way you know the answer is 32 times 7 equals 224. Because in the first box, it's a 2. In the second box with the diagonal, it's 1 plus 1, so that's a 2. And then in the third box over here, it's a 4, so that's still a 4. So it writes out as 224.
So I'm looking at this, and
It's crazy.
I I literally cannot even parse how a single number is being placed on this chart, like
Okay.
like at the start of it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. What I'm discovering from this is that I am not a visual learner.
Okay. To me,
I am a read/discover learner.
so this made sense to me when I watched someone do it with a pen in their hand, right? So the question was 32 times 7. And then so they wrote with the pen 3 2. And you're like, there's the number 32, I recognize that. And then they made a box under each number, right?
Right.
And then they went to the other side and they went 7. So if it was like 72, they would have made a second set of boxes. But since it's just one digit, they only did one box, which is 7, and it's on the right side. You know? I was like, okay, so you have 2 digits at the top and 7 on the side. Got it. I recognize
Right.
those. What's next? And then it's like, then you draw a diagonal line
Right.
from each point at the top to the opposite corner of the box at the bottom. And then you add the numbers in each slice together.
So how'd you pick the numbers for the slices?
So when you slice here, yeah. You know what? I don't know.
That's the part where I'm failing.
Yeah, I don't know.
32 to 7.
Yeah.
Like, why does under 3 is 2/1, and why is under 2 1/4?
What made you pick those numbers? I don't know.
It's 3 times 7 is equal to 21, and 2 times 7 is equal to 14.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Front, it's
Yes.
210.
Yes.
So this is just a visual representation of what I would do, which is 30 times 7 is 210.
Yes.
And 2 times 7 is 14, which is 214.
Yeah, so you go 3 times 7, and then the answer is 21, and then 2 times 7, and the answer is 14, and then you draw a line in between
I don't know what the point of the line is, or the numbers on the bottom, though.
It just happens to visually add up in such a way where if 7 were actually a multiple digit number and there were more boxes beneath, the diagonals would create the right numbers to add up so that anyway, 224 would be correct, right?
So the important thing is to learn your times tables up to 10, because holy shit. Man, I'm gonna...
The important thing is to invent incognito mode
math
for calculators.
If I ever have to teach a child math, I'm gonna take a shot right beforehand.
Yeah, that's fine.